Welcome back to this series that I have put together to help people understand how to read drawings. In this episode, it is going to be how to read elevations and sections. So the last episode we did, which was on how to read floor plans, will fold right nicely into this one if you're just kind of doing these all consecutively. Starting with where we left off on the floor plans, this is an upper floor plan, and what we want to do is if we're looking at these and we're an owner, somebody who's hired an architect, a designer, or they just have a set of plans and they're even a builder and they're trying to understand how to read these. If you're on, I'm looking at a PDF, which actually kind of makes it sort of cheating in a way, because you'll see I'm able to just click on certain symbols in this drawing and move directly to them. Okay. We've been looking at floor plans for a while, and maybe we're kind of over looking at the floor plans. It's time to start looking at the exterior of the building. Maybe I want to look at what is the architect suggesting for the front of my building. In this case, it's over here. So what does the front of my building look like? Well, we want to look for a little symbol that looks like this one over here. This is an elevation symbol, and the A8 means this drawing for the front elevation is going to be on sheet A8. Basically, here's where you can see the drawing sheet types, and it's going to be drawing number 1. What's nice is, because I'm working with a PDF, and if you have a PDF from us, F9 Productions, then you'll be able to just click on this arrow, and it'll take you to that sheet automatically. Pretty neat, right? So let's take a look. Let's zoom in a little bit on this elevation now that we're here. So if you watched the floor plan, how to read floor plans video prior to this one, then you'll understand these little hexagons right here that are on the windows, those also correspond to a window schedule. Because if you're wondering, like, what size, what type of windows is the architect suggesting? So let's say I was looking at these for the first time as a homeowner, and I said, oh, this window they're suggesting is a type S, and I'm also curious, like, what does that symbol right there mean? Well, I'll give you a hint. Basically, this means that this window will open, okay? And the way they usually open is based on this pivot point is where the hinge side is, and then the open, this will be the side where it opens from. So it's called a casement window, right? But I want to double check and verify, because maybe the architect's symbols are wrong or something. So I'm going to remember that this is type S. It looks like it's up in Brett's room. So I can actually click back on the floor here, that floor symbol, and then I can go over to this window schedule. It was type S, casement, perfect. 36 inches wide, 60 inches tall. Oh, what's the sill height? Well, how far is it off the floor? Sill height, back down to S, 2 feet. What's the head height? 7 feet. So let's zoom back out here and go back to this elevation and examine it just a little bit further. So the other piece of information that's reinforced on this drawing is, like, what kind of window or what kind of doors is the architect suggesting? In this case, it says 3.0, 3 feet wide, by 8.0, 8 feet tall. What type? Glass door. Which way does it open? Here's the hinge point, right? And then here is the latch side. So that's what these symbols mean. That it's showing which way they open. Garage doors, 9 by 8, overhead garage doors. Okay. What about materials? Maybe I want to know what kind of materials the architect's suggesting. The graphics might not be enough. I mean, it's obvious, where you can kind of tell, like, oh, the architect's suggesting this is stone. This looks like horizontal siding. This looks like your standard kind of asphalt shingles. But let's double check. It looks like he's calling out 30-year architectural asphalt shingles. He even calls out, what's underneath them. This talks about what kind of siding it is, just to make sure. Fiber cement lap siding, right? What kind of exposure, meaning like how big is the lap, and then what kind of stone, right? The last thing to kind of take a look at is the roof slopes. So this is where the architect, if they're good, should be telling you what kind of roof slopes are they suggesting for your house. So in this case, this little tiny shed roof over here looks like it's a very shallow pitch, 212, or for every foot we go 2 inches up basically. 412 for the main primary roofs, and then that is a pretty good primer on elevations. The other thing to note too is maybe you're wondering, like, what kind of ceiling heights are they suggesting for my house? Well, if I wanted to know, where I would go is I would start looking at these levels. Okay, so the dimension line that you can see that they're pulling from the main top of subfloor line, which is the top of your main floor, to the main top of plate, that's basically your ceiling height, is 9 foot 1 1/8. Now those are construction numbers, and in the end, you could basically round this to, oh, my plate height, my ceiling height for my first floor will be 9 feet. Upper floor, 8 feet. Okay, pretty easy to understand. So sometimes though the elevations are just not quite enough for what we're looking to do, or some of the information we need, rather, right? And again, maybe it's something like, I want to know what the total head height is, or like what it looks like inside the building. Like what does it look like if I just cut right through? So you'd be looking for these sections again, right? If you watch the how to read floor plans video right before this one, I gave a little bit of a primer there, and this symbol denotes sheet A9, drawing 2. It's looking that way. This line is saying it's cutting all the way through the building right there. Let's go take a look at it. Click on it. Boom. Drawing 2, sheet A9, and here is all of that drawing. Now I fully understand what the architect is suggesting, and what they're suggesting is a big giant foyer, like a 2-story space, a grand entry when I come in. Oh, it looks like they're stacking the stairs right on top of each other. I can understand, the head height of the stair, and how much I have to work with and everything like that. So the sections are helpful for those kind of reasons, to really understand in profile, where are the 2-story spaces in my house? How do spaces stack on top of each other, right? So like, for instance, in this one, I can tell like that the architect has designed this nice dining room. It's a 2-story space, kind of grand. The other thing you'll be looking for on sections, if you're still not satisfied with some of the information, is there'll be detail callouts. So right now, these drawings match the scale of the floor plans. They're at 1/4 inch to a foot. But maybe we need to, as the architects working for you, make the drawings bigger so that we can show more details, right? Like nuts, bolts, nails, that sort of thing, right? Maybe we want to see how the stairs are actually put together. Well, you'll notice there's a little symbol right here, and this is suggesting that on A14, drawing 1, and then you'll see the lines are pulled around this area. If I click on this symbol, it's going to take me to A14, and boom, look at that. These are more detailed drawings of these stairs. It's giving me a little bit more information. The architect's suggesting 4x14 Douglas fir stringers, 4x12 Douglas fir treads, right? What kind of stain is taken care of. But maybe I'm a builder looking at this, or maybe I'm a homeowner who's building my own home, and I want to understand how the top of these stairs tie into, like, how does the connection work? I could click on this additional detail, but I'm already on sheet A14, right? I'll click on it anyway, just to demonstrate. It just brings me, like, zooms me back out. But it was drawing 2, right? So where is drawing 2? Drawing 2 down here. See that number 2, custom stair to balcony detail. And sure enough, it is explaining exactly how the treads actually get installed to the stringers. So that is how to read elevations and sections. I hope this was helpful for you. If you like this video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe.